Good morning from Manchester, everybody. Hello, Manchester United fans and other fans watching in as well. This is your Manchester United news and update show, 8 o'clock every morning. You know the score. Get involved in the chat. In fact, I've just seen something that YouTube are putting up there about a community leaderboard. I'll get into that in a minute. I had no idea that was running. But we're talking about JADON Sancho this morning. Starring performance last night against his former teammate Antony in that final. Chelsea win the Europa Conference League, and all talk is on JADON Sancho. Those comments from JADON Sancho, those comments from Sesko. We're going to get into all of that and what this means for Manchester United, when we can expect this decision and what we get from this. I've got a poll running right now. Has JADON Sancho done enough over the last few days to convince you that Chelsea will trigger that buy clause in his contract for 25 million? Give me a yes or no answer in that poll. If you want to add a bit of context, then please do drop your comments into the live section as well, everybody. We do have other news as well. Update on Garnacho. As you can see going across the bottom of your screen there, a lot of interest in Garnacho from not just European clubs, but a few Premier League clubs. I'm talking about that this morning. Manchester United last night looks like we lost the race for Liam Delap. We're going to go into a bit of a live comment section on that as well today, because I did pop a video out last night about the update on where we're at with Liam Delap. It doesn't look good. It looks like he's heading to Chelsea. I mean, watching Chelsea yesterday or watching Manchester United yesterday, if Liam Delap is watching any of them games, United playing against, no disrespect, a shocking all-time, all 11 Asian team, and Chelsea are in the European final, winning that 4-1 comfortably against a decent Betis side, and you're looking at the futures of both of these clubs. I'm sorry, if it had to be a decision for me as a Premier League player where I would go, I would probably look towards Chelsea anyway, looking at the vibe around that club compared to United. We've got an open-top bus parade with players in Malaysia. Well, Ahmad's trying to get around on a scooter, being advised by locals. What's going on there? Where's the organisation in Manchester United? Have the staff completely given up? And then you've got Chelsea celebrating another European trophy and being in the Champions League. I kind of get where Liam Delap is looking here, to be honest. United's look at the moment does not look good. That's what we're saying. So who do we get if we don't get Liam Delap? We're going to talk about that. More news on that as well. More updates on Rasmus Højlund also. And a little bit of an update on Edison from Atalanta. Yes, it's jam-packed. Yes, there's a lot to get through. So, Adam, shut up and let's get on with the news. I know what you're all saying. I can hear it. I can see it. Get on with it, Adam, lad. I'm here. We're on. Let's go. Right, JADON Sancho. Let's get into this news first of all, and let's gauge what was said. So the BBC quotes, and I'm just going to go right into this. I'm not returning to United. No way I'm going back to United. JADON Sancho has made it very, very clear he will not be returning to Manchester United. Now, what you take from that, I don't know. Has he been told that it looks good in Chelsea triggering this deal and he can stay at Chelsea? Or is he just basically saying, look, it doesn't matter what happens. If Chelsea send me back, I'm still not going to be a United player. Maybe his agents have got wind of something. We heard what Omar Barada said yesterday. There has been plans going on for months for every single situation and development towards the back end of the season. Now that everything has panned out, we know where we are next season. We know what we're competing in. We know exactly where the players are and the loanee players coming back and what we need to do with them. So when people look at what Omar Barada said yesterday, and like a warning or a negative sort of a reaction to the end of the season from Manchester United's CEO, I looked at it differently. I looked at this now, and I said this yesterday on the live show last night, about this now being a structure in place that is ready to go and ready to move. They have been 3 or 4 months in the planning on every single situation. That's not just where United are. Off the back of United, it's where the players are and what's happening with them. And JADON Sancho is a massive part of that. JADON Sancho is 25 million right now for Manchester United. Let's not forget, JADON Sancho is paid for. He's done. He's got no transfer fee left. Manchester United's instalments going all the way back to Ollie's time at the club. So let's not forget, when JADON Sancho is paid for by by Chelsea or whoever, that is profit for United. They don't have to obviously pay any more instalments. JADON Sancho is clear on the transfer fee front for United. So that is why this deal is probably bigger. Last year of his contract, not as much to pay out contractually wise. Obviously, there's no transfer fees left to pay for JADON Sancho. So bringing 25 million in and that wage is gone That's big for Manchester United, this transfer window. And I think when you look at it and you start prioritising everything that needs to be done at United, you need to look at JADON Sancho and say that really just needs to be sorted ASAP, because that can really help Manchester United in the early stages of this transfer window. Like with Alvaro Fernandez, I've just an update on him quickly. I don't want to go into too much detail because we know what's happening there. Sell-on triggered. 50 million, Real Madrid are in. It's done. It's happening. That's been cleared by Fabrizio Romano. So we're waiting on the compensation fee and the exact amount to be broke in terms of what Manchester United get. There have been different rumours on that and how much United are getting from Benfica on that compensation sell-on clause that United have got. So that's ranging from just over 5 million, which I don't get from what figures have been put out there in terms of 40 to 50% sell-on, up to 20 million. So let's see where United are with that one. If we can move Sancho on quickly and get this rectified, which is a simple Chelsea triggering that deal, 25 in your bank, and then obviously Alvaro win, you're looking at 30 to 40 million at least there from them two sales in and done for United. So that's good, and that's 2 deals out of the way. Obviously then, Manchester United, with apparently the money already in place to buy Cunha and Delap, are we adding the Sancho and Alvaro Fernandez money to that pot? Because we're not getting Delap now, so that was the question I posed last night. Who are Manchester United going to get if we don't get Delap? But the rumours are that it's looking very favourable for Chelsea to get Delap. That's what the update was last night. So realistically, when you look at JADON Sancho and what Maresca said last night as well, we won. We got our position in the Champions League because of JADON Sancho. We won this trophy because of JADON Sancho. It wasn't them exact words, but what he's alluding to is JADON Sancho played a massive part in Chelsea's success this season, and I think it has been a successful season. Like Chelsea fans giving stick to Maresca, and honestly, like looking at other situations right now, everyone's laughing at Chelsea. I would swap Chelsea's situation in a heartbeat. Like, another European trophy. That's the first team in history to win every single European trophy, because obviously the Conference League has only been going for a few years. But Chelsea, the second English club to win that trophy, but obviously with everything else. They've got that trophy in the bag. They're already in the top 4. They're already in the Champions League. I mean, not a bad end to a season for Chelsea. And I look at the situation to what, like I said before, Liam Delap was possibly looking at here with Chelsea, and it's like, I want a part of that. I would rather be celebrating European trophies and heading out on my summer holidays knowing that I'm in Champions League football and there is a team there that looks like it's right behind its manager. That just looks so much more appealing than the absolute circus which you've got going on at Manchester United right now. And JADON Sancho probably wants to stay and be part of that as well. So it does look like there is a half a chance here that Chelsea may trigger this deal. I mean, the goal was, don't get me wrong, I don't like praising other players, especially players that have left United. I mean, it's not what I'm about, but I have to give props where it's due. JADON Sancho's goal last night was an absolute humdinger. What a finish. And you can see that the players in the squad and them celebrations with JADON Sancho, they are right behind him. And there is a big, big connection there. I think JADON Sancho is settled and he's comfortable within Chelsea. Maresca loves him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have played him the amount of times he has done this season. And his stats now and his involvement this season are right up there. When you look at Enzo Fernandez and him just hitting over 20 goal involvements, JADON Sancho not far behind on that count, by the way. Like, he has had an impact this season for Chelsea. And big decision to make, because 25 million is not a lot for a player that has obviously got something. And maybe another year in is even better for Chelsea. Look, I'm wishful thinking. I'm clutching at straws. You all know that I just want JADON Sancho out of the door at Manchester United. Look, it's not going to work at Manchester United for JADON Sancho. Simply not going to happen. We know this. And United's plans have always been, like Romano said, no room for Sancho at Manchester United. Like Ornstein has said, he won't be coming back to United and playing next season. He has to come back to do the necessaries to then be moved on. But if indeed Chelsea do trigger that 25 million, it's already done. It's already in place. And Manchester United now have got that money and Chelsea have got their player. That's what this deal, bang, does. It finishes it. As long as they say yes, we're in, everybody's happy, and there's no real complications to get through. It's a straightforward 25 million paid as the obligation. The deal's already done. The medicals are already in place. He just signs his contract at Chelsea, and United get the money in the bank. It's a simple transaction, which I'm saying at the top of the show here is why it's vital an ASAP one in terms of getting it done, so United can maybe go and find another target in place of Liam Delap, who looks like he's now moving on to Chelsea. So Chelsea looking like they're going to have a massive impact on Manchester United's summer here at the moment, because it looks like they're taking Liam Delap away, and it looks like obviously taking Liam Delap away from us, and it also looks like they could fund part of our rebuild in terms of giving us that money for Sancho. The other side of this is obviously we haven't heard anything from the club. There is nothing to say that Jadon Sancho is staying at Chelsea anywhere. It's speculation on what he has said, what Maresca has said, and obviously after winning a cup final last night, scoring a great goal, the euphoria and everything, you can get overwhelmed by it, and we've done this as United fans ourselves, like get a bit carried away, and it be a deal then just off the back of the emotional side of things. Let's not forget what else Jadon Sancho has done this season, which isn't a lot in certain spells for Chelsea. So he's got to add all that into the equation. And obviously, we are going to find out. Now, Maresca has said also on Sancho that the deal will be spoken about and we will deal with everything tomorrow after this final. That was yesterday, obviously. Now, moving on to Thursday today, Chelsea will get down to doing their business now that their season is officially over. And we will find out probably by weekend if Jadon Sancho is coming back to Manchester United or if he's staying at Chelsea. And that, I feel, is now what we're waiting for more than anything. I think that's the closest deal to being completed for everything right now. So all eyes on Sancho, all eyes on Manchester United recouping 25 million. And just to clarify, like I said, obviously United have paid the Sancho fee. It's done. So in terms of the PSR and what we're talking about, like for instance, Andre Onana, we can't sell him for a certain price because we're still paying for him. Sancho is paid for. The payments are done. Obviously, gone 4 years now of Jadon Sancho payments, so that pretty much near enough is the maximum that you can take out. You can do 5 if you want, but it's very rare in terms of instalment payments. So United have paid for Sancho, and now that money coming in is profit to United. There's nothing else to pay. So that's the key part in this and why this is important, probably more than Antony and Rashford, because we still obviously have to pay out a big contract on Rashford, and we still got instalment payments on Antony to pay as well. Obviously, only 3 years in, 2 instalments on Antony. Obviously, a lot of people have said that he went disappearing last night against a decent Premier League side. Again, people jumped onto that one last night. I felt sorry for him a little bit, but he's found his level. He needs to be over in La Liga. I think it was quite clear that playing up against a half-decent, organised, stubborn, solid, physical, energetic Premier League side is not what Antony is about. And unfortunately for him, he ended up losing. And I don't think Real Betis are going to be able to keep Antony. I don't. I think he's going to end up moving to somewhere like Atletico Madrid, maybe even Villarreal, like we've spoken about before with Antony. That's the situation where we're at. And there was a lot that came from last night. Now we're going to hear about Antony as well. We're going to get the details of Sancho and get that finalised. And realistically, that I think is what we can look forward to now in the next few days, because I'm going to talk about everything else in a moment. I'm going to come into the chat first of all on Sancho, but just to round up that section of the show is that this is the nearest thing to a deal being concluded now. Jadon Sancho. Obviously Alvaro Fernandez as well. If United can recoup 35 to 40 million out of these 2 deals before the transfer window actually opens, quid's in, let's go. And let's see what that does for Manchester United in their race to sign or bring anybody else in ahead of other football clubs in the Premier League because of this new transfer window timetable. Because it looks like United have got room to play and actual money to play with in this financial year before June 30th. So let's see if these deals get done, and then we can move forward and obviously make more and more deals happen before the real window opens, which is the 1st of July, as we know. Right, let's get into the chat. You may see that community tab in there as well, everybody. There's a leaderboard. And you can see where you are on the leaderboard. You have to interact and do a little bit more and work your way up that leaderboards. I didn't know that YouTube did this, but go for it, everybody. Get involved on that and see if you can get yourself to the top of the table. It looks like Realist is up there at the moment. Thank you, Tom, for that super sticker, buddy. Really appreciate that, mate. To push needed to go the push needed to go for Osimhen now, I would, in terms of the next transfer target, as in no Delap. What striker do we go for, says Ant. Manny with another super chat. Thank you, Manny. We might be talking about Sancho, but if Bruno has decided to move on, surely Trincao €30 million or Sesko should be the focus. Sesko won't be coming to United. He's going to go to Manchester City. Pretty much covered that on Football Talks, Manny, sadly. And there's no talk of Trincao yet. He's far down the list, I'm afraid, mate. We on the Sancho hate train this morning. You can hate him if you want, mate. It's up to you. I'm just looking to get the money in. I don't care about anything else. Sancho isn't going to be coming back to United. He's going to be sold either way. And I just think a deal to Chelsea, get it out of the way quickly so we can attack the first part of this window is more likely what the importance of this deal is now. I think, Mike, more than anything else. Like that name, like Mike as well. Raws with the super chats. Anyone else have a bottle of champagne with each problem player's name on it? Rashford and Sancho out the door. There are a few, aren't there? There are a few players on Manchester United's list right now that we need to look at and be ready to celebrate with the party poppers, the champers, like Raws said. There's going to be a few of these this summer transfer window, isn't there? I think Chelsea have already decided what to do with Sancho. They are just delaying so that United don't get a clear idea of their budget and delay their transfer plans, as the striker options are similar. I mean, they can delay all they want, but at the end of the day, the loan deal is up to June, so they have to the end of June. They have to make a decision in the next few weeks anyway. Because they can't keep a player past that loan agreement, so they have to come out and make a decision on it. So, and I think the agents will be pushing in on this on them as well. So, I don't think they can delay that much, is the honest answer to that one. Mateta is in Europe with Palace. He ain't coming to United, says Nuke. I've said that before myself. I do think that Manchester United now are going to have to really think outside of the box when it comes to strikers. If we don't get Delap, like was said last night, it's going to be a very, very interesting race for strikers within the Premier League. We know, obviously, and we've talked about in depth, all of the strikers and all of the clubs that are looking for strikers out there right now. And I think it's going to be a mad scramble. It is. And I think United have got a little advantage over other clubs, like we've said before, in terms of their position right now in this June month. And this extra transfer window in this financial year, we seem to somehow have a little bit more money available because we didn't spend in January to take advantage of. So I think United are looking at the Club World Cup teams. It's like, Chelsea, what are you doing? You need to let Delap know. You obviously need to let Sancho know, because Sancho obviously will be part of the Club World Cup. And they need to register players as well. So Chelsea can't delay on Delap. They can't delay on Sancho because they need to register a squad next week for the Club World Cup with FIFA. So that is where they're at. So a decision has to be made on that. And United, obviously, with Madrid, with Chelsea, certain deals, Alvaro, Sancho, like we've been talking about, Delap, all of these are involved in Manchester United's transfer window right now and have an impact on our summer. So United looking like they can take advantage where other clubs maybe can't. So it's going to be an interesting a few days now leading over into next week when that window officially opens. But I think Manchester United are not badly positioned right now. Definitely with the way that the loanees situation has played out towards the back end of the season. But look, things can change instantly, can't they? And we'll see if anything does come of it. Anthony says Rashford 40 million, Sancho 25 and Anthony 35 is 100 million. Plus Bruno 100 million, Garnacho 50, which brings us to $250 million getting Amarim's targets. Well, easier said than done. Easier said than done. I think all of them are deals that can get done, though. I think you're definitely looking down the right track there. Good morning to you as well, Don. Cal says, no Delap is a huge concern for us. I really don't know where we can go now. I don't want a non-Prem striker. We might have to take a 1-year loan on an experienced older striker to get us through next year. Okay, the loan market is going to be open for Manchester United as well. Obviously, it's there and we can take advantage of it. And like Barada said yesterday, they're ready for this and they want to get their targets in. They know exactly what they're doing now with what budget they've got. Let's see on that one. In terms of Bryan Mbeumo as well, just quickly on that, like we were discussing earlier on this week, Newcastle were the favourites that I was told. That has since come out to be true, and they are in a very, very comfortable position financially right now. Manchester United losing out on Delap, you would have thought, okay, can we push forward and go and get maybe Mbeumo? And then look for, like Cal maybe says, a striker on the loan. I'll go off other sales. Do we need to secure our 2 10s first before the 9? Because 10s are available. 10s are out there and available right now, and they're going to get picked off by everybody. We're looking at Newcastle in for Bryan Mbeumo. We're looking at City in for Ryan Shirky. All of Man United's 10 targets are going to start disappearing quickly, because where we thought we were going to be in a position where we've got Cunha and Delap through the door, it now just looks like Cunha. And Manchester United now need to decide whether we need to go out and get our number 10 targets before they go, because there isn't many 9s out there. How much time do we spend on a 9 before we lose out on a 10 is the question. But Newcastle have the funds in the pot to go out and spend. And this is where we are not secure. And when I say Newcastle are ready to go, like Newcastle might not be ready to go in June and get Bryan Mbeumo, but they will be ready on June 1st when the new financial year comes, because that obviously is when you reset your balance sheets and go again. So the funds, according to all of the newspaper reports and reports online for Newcastle to buy Mbeumo, are in place, and they can go and buy him. And that is a big target for United to lose off the back of losing Delap as well, because there's 2 Premier League players that they were definitely in for, and we know we're in for. And straight away then you're down to your second and third choices in a couple of different positions. Yes, Cunha is a coup and is definitely a big, big bonus for United. And thank God that that deal has gone through, because we'd have been all scratching our heads here now, wondering where this team and where this club was going next season if we'd have lost out on... Can you imagine if we didn't have Cunha in the bag and all of this news was coming about now? Not good for Manchester United. But yeah, keep your comments coming in on all of that as well. Want to get your thoughts on where you feel, how confident you are with, obviously, with United and losing out on the possibly losing out on Delap and everything else. We do have a poll running again now. I've changed up that poll. Thoughts on losing out on Delap, everybody? Dodged a bullet, concerned what's next. 40% of you are saying concerned what next. 60% of you not bothered, thinking that you've actually avoided bringing in a player that wasn't good enough for United. Adam, can you do a show at 8:03, please? I go through a massive tunnel on my train every day at 8 a.m. and always miss the start of the train. Always miss the start. The train company said no to the train leaving earlier. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do, mate. I'll try and get everybody involved. This is why we do so many shows a day, so other people can have an opportunity around the world and wherever they are to actually get involved and be part of a live show. And get involved in that community leaderboard as well, everybody. Get some comments in and try and get up there. Some new feature, completely free by YouTube as well. So get involved, have some fun there. Ant says, honestly, don't feel funds are the issue now. You could say that, actually, Ant. I think Manchester United are comfortable in terms of where they are. Like, money is obviously a problem, but the amount of players that we're going to sell, obviously, Manchester United in all of the cuts and what we've saved there, are obviously in a decent position as well. They've taken out, they've gone out on this trip to Malaysia, which is apparently bringing in 8 to 10 million. Alvaro Fernandez money is a bonus for United. Obviously, we're looking at JADON Sancho right now. It's actually attracting players into the circus, which I say lightly, obviously, which is seemingly now the biggest issue at Manchester United. And I feel like you're right in that there, that it's convincing players that this project is worth it, because at the moment it looks a bleeding mess. It really does. I seen Saeed's comments yesterday regarding the tour, and I'm in complete agreement with him. It just looks a mess. The whole tour looks like a sham. And you've seen the pictures elsewhere. It's like, what are we doing as a club? It looks all over the bleeding place. I just don't get it. I really don't. But look, a judgment will be once this season ends. Good God, it's just like get this season over. Like, one more game, obviously tomorrow for Manchester United to navigate, and then we're into pre-season officially. Thank Christ, man. It has been a nightmare. I want to move on, and we are talking about possible Manchester United targets, strikers. Who can we go for off the back of the Delap news last night? Now, one of them players is Benjamin Sesko. And I know what you're all going to say. Shut up, Adam. I've just seen a headline that Arsenal have got to pay 93 million if they want Benjamin Sesko. Now, there's a report in Bild from Germany, and I'm only talking about this because I know United are interested in Benjamin Sesko because of Christopher Vivel. And this is the report that's come out today. Manchester United are interested in signing Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig. Manchester United director Christopher Vivel watched Sesko in action last month, and he knows the player well, having signed him from RB Salzburg when he was just 16. So this, back when we announced Christopher Vivel, was a big thing because we went through the history of the deals that Christopher Vivel and the contacts that he's got. We went through all of the history of the man and what he's done and what he's accomplished in his role as a technical director, a sporting director, or whatever he's been at his clubs. He played a massive part in the recruitment drive at the Red Bull Group. And Manchester United, there is a big price tag set on Benjamin Sesko. Whether or not Christopher Vivel can contact his way in and get us some form of deal, I don't know. It's still going to be absolutely astronomical money. And he isn't the best striker out there at the moment either. Look, he's a very good striker, very young, a lot of money. Been around for a long time, it would seem, but still young. And this is another one, like, honestly, right now, where do you rate Benjamin Sesko? Because this is a player I feel United would invest in because of his age. But that still gives us the frighteners in terms of, will he make it at Manchester United? Has he got the right characteristics and qualities to be a United striker? Should we just avoid this because it's too dear? Now, United can afford Benjamin Sesko. His wages are not going to be crazy wages. Obviously, we know that in instalments, Manchester United can afford any player up to 100 million right now. It just depends if we're going to spend that much money on a player. But instalments for Manchester United is where we buy players. And we've said this before. If we wanted to buy Benjamin Sesko, it would be less than 20 million on this summer's transfer budget. Just to break that down. And where Manchester United are at. Less than 20 million in instalments if we wanted to buy Benjamin Sesko. Because it's reported that United could obviously go into RB Leipzig and negotiate a longer term payment plan than, say, for instance, Cunha. 3 years for Cunha, 20 plus million a season for the next 3 years is what's going to get Cunha done and finished. You could spread out the payments for Benjamin Sesko to 4 years, which United have done before, and easily afford a player like this. His wages are not going to be that dear. It's whether or not he is the right player. And do you know what? You've got to ask the question as well. Like, does he want to come and play for a team that isn't in Europe? Because Leipzig are in Europe. And Man United are not. And again, it goes back to what Ant Superchat was before. Benjamin Sesko is an alright player. He's a good player. And we're looking here, and we're splitting hairs on whether this player is good enough. He's too young, he's European. We don't want an unproven Premier League striker coming into Manchester United, blah, blah, blah. And he may just look at this and go, I'm not even interested anyway. I really don't care. Because you move across now, and this is where the concern comes in. You move across now and say, right, we're not going to buy Benjamin Sesko. He's 21, he's unproven, he's not had any Premier League experience whatsoever, and we're going down the Rasmus Højlund road again. Look, his record in a better league, I feel, right now is a lot better than what Rasmus Højlund's was. He has a good goal-scoring pedigree. Good. Not exceptional. Good. And it's a lot of money to put into him. But you go to a Premier League proven striker, too much money. Mateta, is he going to come? João Pedro from Brighton, there's another one who's got an alright record. Are these players good enough for United? There's still a lot of money and probably going to want more in wages. And this is where the United fan base is concerned right now. And this is where I start thinking. And when you look at every single different situation and all the details in anything that could possibly happen for United to bring in a striker now, you cannot not feel a bit concerned about what is to come for United. And that, I think, is where everybody's at with someone like Benjamin Sesko. It's like, yeah, he looks all right, but, yeah, it's a big but. That's the problem. It's a massive but. He's unproven. But where do we go? And that is the issue that we've got right now. Where do we go next? If not Liam Delap. If not Gyökeres, if not Osimhen, If not Mateta, because he's got European football, he doesn't want to come to United, and it's too dear for us. Who? Who is our number 9? And that's the worry, because you cannot tell me that there's anybody that jumps out off a team sheet or out of any club in the world that is going to convince any Manchester United fan at all that he's the right striker for United. So whatever striker we bring in now, there is going to be doubt over. Absolute doubt. And that is hard to get past. Malachi, thank you for the super chat, mate. United looking at Lee Kang-in from PSG. We are looking at him. Again, it doesn't really float my boat, to be honest. There's not really a signing that's going to... I mean, you've got a worker in there. You've got a quality player in there, but I just think the better options at 10 than Kang-in. I think there are better players. Manny with another super chat. It seems no Europe seems to be an issue, though. It does seem to be an issue. Shows you were looking at the wrong players if they are prioritising Europe over this great club. You can't say that, Manny, to be honest, mate. I know what you're saying, and that's what Ruben Amorim said, but you don't work like that. Literally, Manchester United have just put all of their eggs into the Liam Delap basket, and he's a player more than anybody that has been out in public, or is in the public domain as knowing that he's only going to want to move to a club that's in Europe. It goes against everything what Ruben said. And this is why I was always confused with why we're so hell-bent on getting Liam Delap and not Victor Gyökeres. And the excuse was always used that we're not going to buy players that don't want to come to United, that just want European football. Now that lowers the list. That brings the list of players right down. And that's all I'm saying. That then makes you more concerned. That makes you concerned. Cunha is exactly what Ruben wants. He's got the characteristics. He's got everything to bring this club up and bring this club forward. He's a leader on the pitch, I think, and he will raise the standards. They're few and far between. Them players are few and far between. There are not many out there. Manny, another super chat. Thank you, buddy. It says, what is unfolding here is what some have been saying for a while. Amorim will be hiring a bunch of unknowns and will make it work. Outside the square, outside the box is the only way. All I'm saying is there's not going to be many Man United fans convinced by it. That's the problem. Kaz just made a great comment there. I think the Manchester United tour is actual punishment for the players for a crap season. Player punishment. Go on tour. Oh God, it looks horrible, doesn't it? It really looks. It looks like an absolute shit show, to be honest. This tour is embarrassing. Are we looking at Vlahovic or Ramos from PSG? Other options, thinking outside the box. We have touched on Vlahovic before, and there is a story in the Italian media again today. Now we've touched on Rasmus Højlund being a target for Inter Milan. Now, Juventus apparently have started talking. Nicolas Scherer, a journalist over in Italy. I'm going to bring the story up, actually, just to make it clear. Right, so Juventus are among clubs which are monitoring Manchester United's Rasmus Højlund. First talks with his agents, which are at work to move the striker this summer. So there is communication between Inter and Rasmus, Juventus and Rasmus. It's been said that Rasmus wants out. He wants to move He wants to move back to Italy. Now, when you talk about Vlahovic and Juventus, thinking outside of the box, is Vlahovic a player that United could get cheap? Could we use Rasmus Højlund as a make weight? Yes, we could. We could get a real good deal if he wanted to. Now, Vlahovic's record is decent. He's another one of them strikers, I feel, that is in the okay brackets, and he's better than what we've got. And if you can get him cheap, which apparently his price tag is about 25 million, but if you throw Rasmus in there, I don't know, maybe we send Rasmus to Juventus on loan for a season and get a cheaper deal out of Juventus for it. Like maybe we get Vlahovic for 15 million. They get him off their books. We somehow make a deal for Vlahovic in terms of the wage package, incentivised wage package, and they pay all of Rasmus Højlund's wages and take him on loan. We get him for 15, 20 million, and you've got your striker in there. He's good, and that's it. That's all I'll say. Like, I do think he fits in what we want. It's whether he's mobile enough. It's whether he... I don't know. And this is now the conversation that we're having, because Manchester United haven't got their top targets. This is what I was saying. Automatically, just within a conversation, because the comments come up in the live section as it is on the show today, we're now talking about Vlahovic. We're trying to figure out a way how we get around not getting Delap, not getting Gyökeres, not getting Osimhen, not getting David, not getting Mateta, João Pedro. I think all of them are going to be too dear for Manchester United now. The other ones past Delap, that is. So Osimhen, I don't think United want to touch his wages, is my honest opinion. Gyökeres is going to go to a Champions League club. Delap, obviously, to Chelsea. Mateta is playing European football, and there is talk of him signing a new deal at Palace, and they would want upwards of 50 million for him. I don't think United are going to go near that because of the fee. Do we end up taking someone like Vlahovic from Juventus because he's available? And again, I think that's like 4th or 5th choice striker for Manchester United, and then everybody's going to start debating whether or not Manchester United are capable of operating in the transfer window again. Look at what Ineos are doing. Look how bad we are. Look at our options again. We've missed out on our top targets. Look, there's only so much you can do with what you've got available to you, and Ruben was part of the problem in Man United not getting European football as well. As much as I'm backing him, look, he cannot demand what he wants. He cannot just go out and say we need this player and that player off the back of them only wanting Manchester United. You cannot say that. Players are going to decide these days where they go based off what they see for their future, not just because of the history of a certain club. Certain players you're going to get lucky with, like we've said, but this is where United are at right now. All of a sudden, the top targets have gone, and we're already down a level as to who we can go for. I don't think we'll buy Vlahovic, by the way. I really don't. But it's another conversation, isn't it? And what we're talking about here is now is second options and where we go. Let's get a few more super chats in. Ant says, if we don't get a good striker and an 8, mark my words, the protest will be back. They're going to be back anyway, mate, even if we sign them players. And it'll be calling for the Glazers, Ineos and Amorim to go. I think there'll be a lot more cry for Amorim to go this season if we are still playing the same football. Akash says, one small issue, Adam Vlahovic is on 300 grand a week plus. No, I did mention that, mate. You are right. He is on big wages, and United would have to negotiate something that suited them. And it's up to Vlahovic if he wants to drop down to that, which is why, like I said a moment ago, I don't think we will get Vlahovic. I really don't. I don't think it's doable for Manchester United. Just in the whole package side of things. Ollie Watkins, I don't care about his age, says Block. Just desperate to get anybody in, mate, I think, at this stage, is what you're saying there, buddy. And you know what? Like I said, like Manchester United may have to be very, very clever in the transfer window. So, and that's the Sancho'S situation covered. Obviously, the Benjamin Sesko news is there from Germany. Are United willing to spend that much on an unproven striker in the Premier League again? We can't afford him if he wants to come again. And more problems in players actually deciding to come to Manchester United with the way that the club is at the moment. I think that would be the top of my issue list right now. How players are looking at United and how we're looking at this transfer window as a club now. It's like we're not what we was. We're not the force that we was. And everybody has to take a step back, I think, and go, we have to look at the reality of where we are right now, and we're not going to get everybody that we need this summer. We're not. It is a certain player that's available that we know we definitely need, and that is going to be sacrificing another player that we need in another position, i.e. a 10 for an 8. You have to do it. Honestly, right now, if United's funds are low and the targets are dropping off, we're not able to get our 10s, I would just make sure that we've got an 8 in as well. Go and get the players in the positions that we need that are available for us to get as quickly as possible. So we've got these players in. At least we're ticking off other boxes. Instead of wasting time and chasing. Does Jadon Sancho's money and Alvaro Fernandez's money give United the opportunity to beat Newcastle to Bryan and Bumo? Yes, it might. Go for it. Get it done. Forget about the 9 for now. We can come back to that because right now the options for 9 are just not there at this stage of the transfer window. So let's go and get what is available in this stage of the transfer window in positions that we can get. Which moves us on to the number 8 role and another update on Ederson coming in. And United still hoping that they can get their hands on him. Tutto Atalanta reporting again, Italian reports that Liverpool and Manchester United are interested in the Atalanta midfielder, but both clubs have made contact and are needing to sell before they can go in and buy. I think this is a common theme that has come out of this transfer with quite a lot. Liverpool's eggs firmly in the Florian Wirtz basket at the moment and dealing with that. Kirkes obviously as well, and Frimpong, big players moving to Liverpool. They are preoccupied by them, and then they're looking to move players on. And Manchester United the same. Like, if we have got any money from Sancho and Alvaro, if Edison is available and we can get him, do we go out and get Edison and get the number 8 position covered before we get the next 9 and that 10, is what I'm saying. I think that's the decision that needs to be made by the club, because we do need the number 8. We really do. So I think if you are going for Edison, just make it clear. Go for him. I mean, Joe Bellingham is available, seeing as though he's out in Germany talking to clubs over there, following his brother's pathway into stardom, you could say, and making it to Real Madrid through the German market. Or you could try and go for someone like Adam Wharton. Again, the problem I've got with all of these players that we're talking about, which is great, is that none of them right now are worse off than where United are. This is something that we need to remember as well. United have always been in a stronger position with a lot of clubs. Like, we've had European football to offer. We've been higher in the league than a lot of these players. Right now, Manchester United are bottom barrel. But literally being dragged through the mud, the bottom of the food chain when it comes to this transfer window. And are we going to see other players look at United and go, I'm better off where I am? I look at Crystal Palace players and I'm thinking, European football. Put myself on the market even more here for an even bigger club. Like, United is massive. But this season, for someone like Mateta, is he willing to move to Manchester United for a project? This is his last big move. Going on to 27, 28, Mateta now. This is his last big contract. He's got one move in him. Does he commit to Crystal Palace and see out his career in Europe and see where Palace go? Does he move to Manchester United, unknown and not having a chance to play in Europe? Or does he move to a bigger club? Somebody else may come in for him yet. United haven't got the advantage anymore, and that's what this transfer window is definitely showing everybody right now. I feel this is probably the worst situation United have been in transfer-wise with a lot of stuff. And I do believe that it is going to force United to sell more players, which is the only positive that I've got from this. Dan in with a super chat. Thank you, Dan. Why are we not looking at David? If we get him in now, it gives us till to find another one whilst developing Obi or sending him out on loan. And the Jonathan David one I would be onto just because of the affordability factor. I'm not saying that we should be buying players because we can just afford them. They have to fit into the system. And again, it comes down to, like, does the player want to come? I think probably is the question here. We might actually be in for him, Dan, but he doesn't want to come to United. The question might have already been asked. That's the worrying bit. Thank you, everybody who has liked the video already. Absolutely loving that. Well over 300 likes in the bag. Let's see if we can get the live show up to 500 live likes today, everyone. If you're loving the content, pop a thumbs up on the video, please, everyone. Make sure that you have subscribed to Forever United TV. We'll get you fully updated daily with everything going on with Manchester United in and around Old Trafford, on and off the pitch. PC Gamer tag. Why not Jamie Vardy? A few people have said that now. Jamie Vardy just to bring in as a striker. Right now, you would say, look, Jamie Vardy looking at his next step, a lower placed Premier League side probably does fit Manchester United right now, doesn't it? Rossi with a super chat. Thank you, mate. If we sell who we want to, how much will we make? Possibly 250 to 300 million plus if we sell everybody on. That's where we're at. You only have to look at Garnacho and Bruno, and them two sales alone would get United approximately 150 million. Sancho gone, 175. Anthony gone, you're into the 200 territory there. Rashford gone as well. That takes you over 250 million. Closing in on 250 to 300 million, I think, is where we're at, Rossi, with that. But it's with players want to come. Jamie Vardy on a 12-month deal. That's another one who says it. Hutch Monster. I mean, Jamie Vardy, again, I'm not saying it's scraping the barrel. I love Jamie Vardy. I think he's a great striker. But to sign someone that age in the middle of the biggest transfer window in the club's history, and this so-called things are going to get better, and this is the turning of a page, Manchester United, it doesn't look right, does it? I'm not saying that with any disrespect at all to Jamie Vardy. I'm really not. But you got to look at that and go, that is a little concerning, isn't it? If that is the calibre of player we're looking at. Just to go over all of the news for people that have just joined us. Welcome along to the show, everyone. Get your comments in. See if you can work your way up that community leaderboard, which is new to YouTube today. But Jadon Sancho coming out last night after the final in the Conference League, saying that he will not return to Manchester United. That was on the BBC. That, I think, has been made clear from the player side of thing. From the manager side of thing, and Maresca looks positive again. He says that this season, Jadon Sancho has played a big part in, obviously, winning the Conference League, getting Champions League football. Jadon's been a big part of that. We will discuss the future after this final, that now being today. So we're expecting an announcement from Jadon Sancho on Jadon Sancho's move with Chelsea over the next few days. The club side is the quiet side. Chelsea have said nothing. It's only been Maresca talking about it. It's only been Jadon Sancho last night, really. So we're looking at it. United ready to cash in at 25 million if that goes through. But also, we still haven't had any official announcement yet on this. That's what we're waiting for. And it could still end up going back to United. But Jadon Sancho has made it clear. And I think United have made it clear. Even if he comes back, United get that penalty fee off Chelsea and then sell him on again straight away. He's not coming back to United. He doesn't want to be part of the club. And it's important for United to get this deal done because we don't owe any money on Sancho anymore. And this money coming in this summer now would be profits. 25 million profits. Maybe more. If the penalty's paid and then United sell him on again, Man United might make more for Sancho. Someone may be looking at him now and what he's done in that final and go, I want to really invest in this. Maybe he's added a few pounds to his price tag with that performance and the way he's finished the season. Because he's finished the season not too badly, really. He had that real lull spell in the middle and then he's gone strong again at the end. So I feel like maybe clubs are looking in at Jadon Sancho. One place he won't be going is obviously Bayer Leverkusen, who were reportedly in for him because of Ten Hag, as we know. But there are plenty of people actually interested in Jadon Sancho. I'm going to do a bit more of a piece on Garnacho maybe later on, but there is interest in Premier League clubs, including Aston Villa now, with Alejandro Garnacho. So that stay tuned for that one. Could he even end up going back to Ten Hag at Leverkusen as well? Obviously, Leverkusen have got money to spend. Garnacho was big for Ten Hag. He was the manager that really gave him his time in the first team. Maybe that's what Garnacho wants. Maybe he needs that loving. And maybe he wants to go and play Champions League football for Bayer Leverkusen next season. Look, that deal would be an easy one, I think, to make happen. Because Garnacho, I think, wouldn't mind playing Champions League, playing with Ten Hag again. And Manchester United need the money. Bayer Leverkusen have got the money. And they're looking for replacements for Florian Wirtz. If Ten Hag has his way, and we know the history of Ten Hag, he likes to bring in players that he knows. He likes to bring in players that he has worked with before. Obviously, we can't send him Jadon, but as much as we'd like to. But Garnacho is a real possibility to end up over in Germany with Erik Ten Hag, I feel. And there has been stories floating around about this, about an interest from Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, they want to get everything in place and everything signed, sealed, delivered and finished off with Ten Hag in, get their plan in place. And I think there may be a few more rumours on this, but the Aston Villa links with Garnacho are interesting ones because obviously it doesn't look like Marcus Rashford is going to be a part of Aston Villa's future. I think we can say that that's gone now. Rashford has made his mind very clear. He's made his plans and what he wants very clear to everybody. He wants the big move to Barcelona, like we reported yesterday. Let's see how that develops now over the coming days. And I think Garnacho to Aston Villa could be a potential move. I mean, Aston Villa have got European football. They're in the Europa League. Garnacho under Emery might be useful. He likes that wide player. He could be an out-and-out replacement straight for Marcus Rashford. And maybe he could work with him. If Villa are looking to pump in some money, maybe 40 to 50 million for Garnacho, that would be big for Manchester United. A lot of people would say, I don't really like Garnacho moving to a rival. Again, I made my point clear on that. It's just my opinion is that I'm not really bothered. I think we need to look at what's right for us first before we worry about what a player's going to do for somebody else. I think we just need to be looking after number one. And the immediate issue is getting money in to strengthen this squad for us. We shouldn't be looking at what other clubs are going to get out of our former players. And people will laugh at what Jadon Sancho did last night, but all I seen in what Jadon Sancho did last night was add pounds to his price tag, and there's a better chance of him being sold. That's all I'm looking at. That's all that matters. Anthony's the same. Look, we've seen what Anthony can do in Spain. We've seen he's got qualities at a certain level. There's just adding money to the transfers. Get these players gone. Big part of Manchester United developing the future and working under Ruben Amorim is getting these players out as quickly as possible and getting as much money in as we can. And I think speed is important for United in getting these deals over the line now. Like we said at the top of the show, particularly Sancho. But the interest is mounting quickly on Garnacho. It's going to be one to keep an eye on, I think, Garnacho, over the next couple of weeks, whether or not you see any Club World Cup teams coming in for Garnacho. That will be interesting, because obviously Chelsea, if they send Sancho back, maybe the automatic replacement is Garnacho, because we know that there's an interest there from Sesko. Maybe they go for Garnacho and Sancho, because Mudrik's leaving, Felix is leaving Chelsea. Maybe they go for both. Okay. Like I said, Chelsea are having a big say in Manchester United's transfer window this summer. They really are. And I do think that there is a chance that United are reliant on a lot of decisions coming from Chelsea and clubs in fact, bigger competitions than us, because I think we'll be feeding off the scraps a little bit. As much as that pains me to say that, I think United will be looking at second and third choices, sadly. And them choices have to be absolutely perfect. It's hard enough getting your top choices bang on the money, but to get second choices right, that's even harder job for me, I feel. Overall, happy that Jadon Sancho last night did what he did, because like I said, it gives us a few more pounds on his price tag. And all of the noises going around at the moment, I just feel like right now we're in a position where let's just get this tour done. Get this tour out of the way. Finish tomorrow. Get the players back. Get everybody gone. Go on holiday. Get pre-season underway, and let's start getting down to business. I just feel like this tour is a massive distraction in what we really want to be doing right now. All I want to see is the kids. I want to see more of the Shea Lacey's, the Sekou Kones, the Kakonkis. I want to see more of Jimmy Thwaites, Jack Morehouse. I want to see more of Chido as well. Obviously, Fredrickson. I just want to see these kids play. I really don't give a shit about watching any more first-team Man United players play anymore this season. It's painful. Like yesterday was just painful watching that game. It's just exactly what we've been watching all season. Ruben doesn't want to be there. The players don't want to be there. It's an embarrassment to the football club. While other teams are counting their pennies and looking towards what their futures are, playing in European competitions, we're off on tour, faffing around on social media. It's just... It's kind of depressing as a United fan to be watching what our club is up to right now, isn't it? And that, I think, is just... Again, another sign of where this club is at. It's kind of desperate, because we're only doing this tour because we need the money. And we need to obviously give Ruben Amorim a chance to get it done, and let's move forward with this transfer window. That is our show this morning, everybody. Thank you so much for everyone involved, everyone who has donated. There has been loads again today. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome to the Members Club, Akash, right at the end there as well. But cheers for all the super chats, everyone. The community leaderboard for the first one that YouTube have done, who led the way? The Realist has gone top, followed closely by Tom and Gray. I didn't know that YouTube were actually doing that, but yeah, something a little extra for you all to be involved in on and everything. So I'm just looking at news that's just coming through to me right now. Nothing to concern Manchester United fans anyway. Sadly, I know. It could have been a little bit of a story there right at the end. Please give the video a like, which will definitely, if you haven't already, give the video a like now. That'll take us over 500 live likes. Another absolutely epic show, everybody. Loving all of your contributions and your input into these shows. The morning show is going from strength to strength. I will let you know what happens throughout the day. I'm travelling today, and more information on that later. You may see me in different destinations later on today, but I will let you know if there is anything coming up at lunchtime. I'll only bring up some if it's significant enough, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. And have a great day, everybody. Like the video, subscribe to Forever United TV to be up to date with everything going on, and I'll see you all later on. So, thank you again. And let's see what else happens today, everybody. I think my man Saeed is over live in just a moment's time as well. So jump across there and go and give Saeed a watch, and let's see his thoughts on everything that's going on with United. I'm sure he's got an opinion on Liam Delap having a rage monster moment. I'm guessing early doors today. But that is it for now for us, everybody. I will see you all later on, and have a great day. And let's see what else happens with United.